Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening. Welcome to the Pivotal Podspective. This is the show where we get extraordinaires in their field from all over the globe to chat about their pivotal ways, tips and tricks to help you guys and us to level up, adopt, adapt, and improve yourself and your business. And of course, I'm here. My name's Elliot Brown, your host, with my co-host
Adrian Durbansu.
And you're going to say something then, Adrian. And our money mindset extraordinaire, Gull Khan.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Elliot. Hi, Adrian. It's so wonderful to be here.
Hello, good.
I think the crowd interrupted you there, Adrian.
Yeah, no problem. No, I'm used with that. So yeah, they don't respect me that much. Usually they respect the guests more than me.
And how are we both this evening?
I'm doing fantastic. It's evening for me, so I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much. And we're enjoying the heat wave.
Yeah.
I think we're both hot. That's what she meant to say.
Oh yeah, very hot.
Yeah, very hot in all ways.
Hot. Damn hot.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Gull, it's been Mindset Week this week. We've talked. We've not talked about mindset on Tuesday because that was an area we were just talking about stress and coaching on that side. But it was sort of a anti-mindset in a weird way. Last night was definitely about business mindset, and this evening is money mindset. So you've got a bit of a story, to be honest, to get you to where you've got to. But tell us a little bit about what you do, Gull, and do your intro, as you said before we started recording.
Okay, so let me introduce myself fully. So hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I am Gull Khan, and I am a money mindset expert. And as a money mindset expert, I help entrepreneurs to break free from their limiting beliefs, reverse their money shame, and blast through the money blocks using my unique energy tools so that they can live a life of unlimited abundance.
Oh, that's good. That's got to be the best intro that somebody has done.
Thank you.
It is succinct. I get it. Straight away. That's good. That's what it's all about, right?
Thank you. Yes, exactly.
You've practiced that.
Yeah. No bullshit intro. No. That was exactly what it is. And yeah, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, straight to the point. You practiced that a little bit over the top.
Well, I'm a lawyer, so I'm used to telling my story in the easiest way possible. Yes.
Yeah, and before we started recording, you were actually telling us about your rise to fame in the money mindset world from law and being a barrister and solicitor, etc. as well. So tell us a little bit in sort of brief, if you're able to, a little bit about how that happened and what led you to being the money mindset expert. Oh, sorry, extraordinaire.
Thank you so much. I like the extraordinaire part.
Yeah, way better than the expert or guru or ninja or whatever.
Of course. Okay, so if it's a bit tough to do it as in a short way possible, but I will try. So for those of you who don't know, I'm actually a barrister here with Middle Temple. So I'm a qualified barrister, and I'm one of the rare breeds. I'm a fully qualified solicitor with the England and Wales Law Society also. So I'm duly qualified. And on top of that, I'm a fully qualified New York attorney. I'm a member of the New York Bar Association as well. Now, that means I'm qualified in 3 jurisdictions, but I practice in 0. I fully focus on my mindset expert, money mindset business. And I love what I do. Becoming a money mindset expert literally fell into my life, and it just naturally, now when I look back at my life, I think everything in my life just sort of trained me to be where I am right now. From my legal training, from my interest in personal development, from my interest in energy healing, from my built-in energy healing that I wasn't even aware of until I started training as an intuitive life coach. So if I start from the beginning, I am somebody who is severely dyslexic. I'm not just dyslexic, I'm severely dyslexic. So someone like me should not really have the kind of grades I do, the kind of qualifications I do. And I only found out that I'm dyslexic, not just dyslexic, severely dyslexic, at the age of in a first year law degree. And
All right.
that it doesn't surprise me now, because when I look back, can you believe it, Elliot? I couldn't even read a full sentence until the age of 11, 12. Like I was in high school, in secondary school, and I wasn't able to read a full sentence. I just thought it was because of my background, what happened, we traveled along,
Right.
we traveled a lot, and it wasn't even something that occurred to me. However, I've become an A grade student. I've always aced everything. I was on top of my class all the time, and I'm very articulate. I have always been very articulate. That's why I've been pushed in the direction of law. So once I realized I was dyslexic, I went down the personal development route. So I was trying to work out why I achieved the success I had. I had 5 A levels without knowing I'm dyslexic, and I've got straight A's.
Okay.
So why that wasn't possible? That's pretty much very, very difficult. Not possible, but very difficult for someone with the kind of challenges, I should say. I wouldn't call it disability. I would call it challenges that I faced.
Yeah, it's an ability. I classed it almost an ability these days as well, to be fair.
It is. I think dyslexia is a gift. I really see it as a gift, because it gave me the ability to look upon things in a different light that other people won't. So yes, I take longer to study, but then I have a better grasp of the subject. Hence, I'm able to articulate and formulate arguments, which really helped me as during my legal career, of course.
Sure.
So and this is where like I said, it was just something while I was doing my legal training. This simultaneously, I was doing personal development training. I went looking for, like I mentioned a bit off the camera, I went looking for Tony Buzan's book on mind maps and speed reading, and I found Tony Robbins' book on Awaken the Giant Within, and that led me down the rabbit hole of personal development. I call it a rabbit hole because I became a personal development junkie. I mean, you name it, I've read it, from really? Jim Rohn to Zig Ziglar to Thomas Truett to Benjamin Franklin. You name it, I've done it. Yeah. You name it, I've read it.
Jim, by the way, same birthday as me.
Really? Oh, yeah. Awesome. Awesome. I don't know his birthday day, but I was very sad when he passed away. That I missed the opportunity to meet such an amazing gentleman.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's where the personal development route came in, and I set myself a target of becoming a millionaire, as I think most people would. I think that when they go on that personal development route, and I hit that at 27, and that was again extraordinary. Was extraordinary for someone like me, because I grew up on council estate. I didn't grow up with money. So I was used to having pretty much nothing. My mother working in a factory on less than minimum wage, so forth, right?
Sure.
So everything that I've achieved wasn't something I was supposed to. But anyway, I was doing both simultaneously, and I had a very, very flourishing legal career. I had personal issues which happened during my first marriage. I had arranged marriage, being a very good Muslim girl that I am. Right. I had arranged marriage, and that was an abusive marriage, even though on paper our marriage was perfect. We were both lawyers, but anyway. Yeah. So when that marriage ended, there was personal circumstances that I left my job at the time, because my ex-partner at the time was asking me for alimony, various things. I was the main breadwinner in a relationship. Right. So I took a step back, and I thought, okay, I'm not going to do this again, but I'm not going to be the main breadwinner again. I was very adamant about it. So I went from one extreme to the other. When I went to the second marriage, it was semi-arranged again. And this time, my husband at the time was adamant that I wasn't going to go back into work. He wanted me to stay home and look after the family. And after what I experienced with the first marriage, I readily accepted. Stupidly so, you can say, but then again, now looking back, I think the universe had better plans, and that's why I did go down that route. Okay. And when I was home, that's when I went really deep into personal development. And more than that, not just NLP, which I think is very superficial, to be honest, with all due respect. I think energy work
a bit over quoted these days as well.
Really, everyone and everyone's granny is talking about NLP. Everyone's an NLP. Everyone is, right? Yeah. So this is where I had the first time in my life I was able to sit back and explore my actually own supernatural abilities and qualities. Every single person has this, by the way, so I'm not unique in that respect. I was just able to train and sort of hone into my abilities. And I have certain abilities, especially when it comes to manipulating energy and being able to change energy. I didn't know this at the time until I actually went ahead and did intuitive life coaching. Okay. And before that, prior to that, I did immersion freedom technique. I don't know if you're familiar with that, EFT. I did training in that, and then it was that the intuitive life coaching was a bit more further, and everything I sort of trained up on. Guess what my sole focus was? I always focused on money. Even when I was a lawyer, I focused on money. I was a banking finance lawyer, so I've always had this affiliation with money. Unlike most other people, would think if somebody has this affection for money, they must be greedy. I've never had the need or greed for money. I've just been very fascinated by it because I think it's a very, very important, it plays a very important role in our physical 3D world.
Oh, of course it does.
And therefore, people denied, I never denied it. And therefore, I focus my energies on learning and understanding about money. And therefore, quite naturally, I became an expert when I was dealing with energy and removing people's energy and changing people's energy all around money. Now, that played a major role in my life because when I went through a second divorce, and this time around, I've just been one of those really lucky people. I've been very lucky in relationships. Right? I jumped from the frying pan into the fire. My second marriage was even more abusive than the first one. First one was just physically abusive. The second one was mental, emotional, financial, sexual, you name it. And you name it, I had it. And I was holding on to that marriage with dear life. I wasn't letting go because my second marriage, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make sure it works.
Yeah.
Anyway, because in that relationship, he was holding the financial card. When I chose to leave him after I found out about his affair, he played the financial card.
Right.
He said he wanted to keep me, basically. We're Muslims, so Muslims are allowed to have two wives. He wanted to keep me and his 16, 17-year-old, whatever, how old she was. So he wanted to keep both of us. And I said, no. And this is where I realized I too had money blocks. Over the time, what happened is, as a lawyer, I wasn't used to asking for money. The HR department decided how much money I earned, or my experience, or the company I worked for decided how much money I earned.
Yeah.
When I chose to have a business myself, that is when I allow money to come through me directly. Mm-hmm. And as I was in one abusive relationship to the second, especially the second one, I had developed serious money blocks and serious energy, you can say almost negative, dark energy around me because of the lack of self-worth, because of the lack of self-confidence, because of all the things that I had gone through. I was not allowing money to come to me directly. So hence, when he played that financial card on me, I had no source of income at that time, none whatsoever.
Right.
And because I am a property millionaire, so I have a lot of property in my hand, when we were going through a divorce, I couldn't access that property because we were going through the divorce. Mm-hmm. Yet the government would not support me or give me any welfare either because
you had the properties.
Yeah. So I was in that stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
I couldn't go back to him and I couldn't ask for help from anyone, and yet I had no form of income. And that's when I sort of realized that I had to use my own tools and energies on myself to remove the blocks which I had developed over the last 8 to 9 years throughout the second marriage.
Okay.
And once I did, that is when I had a major breakthrough. So now, just to put things in context, I made the decision of going into setting up business and especially focusing on money for other people as well as myself in January, February 2017. I didn't get my first client until November 2017. Yet, I haven't completed 3 years of my business yet. So 3 years will be in November. I'm going to be hitting 7 figures this year. Touch wood.
Nice. Wow.
So thank you so much. So I'm very proud of the achievement I've had and the way I've gone, the way exponential growth I've had in my business and the people around me. But this has been possible all with ease and grace, working around 2 children. And I say I work part-time, run full-time mother and part-time business around my 2 children. And because I'm able to shift energy so rapidly. And when I shift your energy, your mindset changes and you're able to attract opportunities and be able to monetize money on those opportunities so quickly. So hopefully that answered your question, how I fell into this.
That was a story, but interesting to know that you've come through that, which is what gives you the credibility to do what you do as well.
Yeah.
I think it's good to explain all that, just because obviously, we always like to. This is a real life situation. There are lots of people that are probably going to be in that situation, but some of them, they won't recognize it until they see it and all that. So that's why we like, to ask questions that people, like I said, sometimes they don't necessarily think about them, but when they hear them, they say, oh, maybe that's me as well. So that's why I just want to ask you next, can you give us some example of the blockages that you had? So people
absolutely.
can actually understand.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you asked this. So one of the things that I've came up with was something I call toxic money. So toxic money is a situation where you develop this need for money from this particular source, and you're so dependent on it that you have to have it. Without it, you need it for survival. Yeah. But you hate and you loathe the source where the money is coming from. And that can develop, and I'll give you some examples, that can happen when you're in a legal battle with something, or in my case, it was the money was coming from my partner at the time. Now, keep in mind that was a very abusive marriage, yet I wasn't letting go. And he was my sole source, at that time, my sole channel, let's say source, my sole channel of income. And because he was my sole channel of income, I had no other income from anywhere else. So I needed the money for survival, for myself and my kids. Keep that in mind. It's not just me, it's and my kids.
Yeah.
So I really needed that money. Yet the abuse that came with it, the kind of torture that came with it, I loathed him and I loathed that money.
Sure.
Now, when you start
real love-hate relationship with it.
Yes, and because you're desperate for that money because you need it for survival. Remember, this is a survival aspect, not just it's like I'll be taken care of. You need it for survival, yet you hate or loathe where it's coming from, and that creates not a negative relationship just with the like, for example, my ex-husband at the time. That deflect, because I wasn't hating him, I wasn't angry with him, I was angry at money. So all the anger, all the frustration, all the energy was directed at money. Like, why can't I make money? Why is money so hard? It's okay for me to be able to, because even at that time, I was able to work and help with people. I was doing a lot of pro bono work. Again, right. I wasn't really thinking of being a money mindset expert. I was just doing to practice my craft. I was able to help other people be able to manifest money, yet I couldn't, apart from just my ex-husband at the time. So that's one of the major blocks. So that's toxic money. When money becomes toxic, you really are becoming, it gets into a vicious circle. So the more you become dependent on this money, the more you hate it, and the more you hate it, the more you need it from this particular source, and it becomes a vicious cycle. So that's a really powerful example of toxic money. Oh, okay. And it could initially, if somebody has it, they'll see it when, for example, if they're in a relationship or they're in a job. So just another example. You start off a job and you like it, but then over the years you get a horrible boss or colleagues or whatever, you get frustrated. Now, initially it wasn't toxic, but over the years, the more you get frustrated with a job, the more you get annoyed with those colleagues, the more you get annoyed with that boss, the more you loathe the job, the more you need it. And you find money comes, and if you have toxic money, money comes, money goes. And you think, hang, what happened to the money? It was, why is it money comes, money goes, and I can't even keep any? Because now you're in the toxic money or getting to the toxic money situation where money will come. And if you're hating something so much, why would it stay? Why would it stay? So it leaves. Hence the need for that money from that particular source even more. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely does make sense. Yeah. We just got a couple of people made a quick comment over here. Jenny Walker says hello. She's going from hello from Jenny Walker. Hi Jenny. She was on the show a few months ago, and she likes the crowd. Apparently, it's like watching American Idol. And my mum's come to say hello. She said, Mum, you must say hello to the guests. So, how rude of you. So yeah,
hello, Elliot's mum.
Hello, Elliot's mum.
She's our biggest fan. So there's definitely a couple of areas there on the money side, challenge wise. So what is it that you do? What's your pivotal thing on money mindset? That, and it isn't just one thing that you're going to do, but how do you work with people to get them to get out of that side of mindset of it being negative and potentially even poisonous, and that love-hate relationship, which we've all had at times with money, let's face it, rarely do we have an abundance of it where you just think this is great. I mean, it's probably 25 years ago since I had that, to be fair. But how do you get around that? How do you work with people on that side, and sort of get them from that negative to a positive sort of mindset on the money?
Sorry to interrupt you first. Probably I would be interested.
Just jump in, Adrian. Go on.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask how do you recognize someone that has a problem with that?
Recognize someone who has problem with toxic money.
Yeah. So how do you recognize how a person that has problem with with the money mindset looks like? Obviously, you've said about the toxic thing and the abuse, but I suppose there are quite a few other ways as well, or how a person looks.
Okay, so nobody looks like they have issues with money, but I'll tell you, most people do. 99.9% of people who I've come across have issues with money, even those who appear to have money. I'll tell you why. And the easiest way to assess this, and I know because we're in the personal development area, a lot of people have read the books like Think and Grow Rich or, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, etc. So they know how to talk about money, especially to someone like me who's a money person. So they say, no, I like money. I think money is great. I think money means freedom, etc., etc. And especially entrepreneurs. So, they'll say, no, I want money. That's why I'm in business. So I have a methodology for you to work out for yourself. Rather than me telling you, you can work it out for yourself. And I'm going to give you a very simple method. There's two parts to it. First of all, money doesn't lie. Okay, money is always honest. So if for you to determine what kind of relationship we have with money, look in your bank account right now, not tomorrow, not the day after tomorrow, right now. How much money in black and white do you have in accounts right now? How much debt do you owe, and how much money do you have in your savings? Not as gold, not as investments, because they can go up and down, by the way. So in liquid cash, how much money do you actually have? Not you can call it a rainy day account. I don't like rainy day funds. I really don't like those.
Yeah, but even assets and stuff. No, what do you have like liquid in your
what do you have? Liquid assets. What kind of money do you have? And that will give you an indication where you are right now. Second one, okay, and second methodology, I think is really, really powerful for you to get an understanding yourself, not from your conscious mind. You want to get deep down into your subconscious mind, seeing what is your subconscious energy, or what is your subconscious thinking about money. And the way to do that is put a 5-minute timer on your phone, get a pen and paper out, and free flow, right? Just think money and just free flow, right? Okay, so money means this, without thinking. And you're in about 2 to 3 minutes into the writing, your conscious mind will stop and your subconscious mind will take over, and you'll find you're just writing and you're writing and you're writing and you're writing. So when the alarm goes off, 5 minutes are up, go back and read. And in the beginning, you probably have money means fun, money means love, money means happiness. And then in the end, you'll find towards the middle and especially towards the end, you write money means frustration, money means pain, money means credit card bills, money means this, those your subconscious thoughts will come up. Or something like money means fear, money means people will take money away from me, money means I'll become a target, money becomes, etc., etc. Whatever your issues are, you'll see it in black and white on that piece of paper. And that's a 5-minute exercise, but I promise you, it will give you a very good insight into who you are. Now, most people, when they come to talk to me, and I obviously I can't say from your, looking at you what's going to happen. Actually, I can, as I can read you, and energetically I can read you as well. But I sort of allow people to understand themselves. I probably can. We'll probably have a conversation offline. I can probably talk you not by you as well. But when I have a conversation, I like people to get aha moments themselves. So I ask specific questions. Okay, so what kind of money do your parents have? What kind of money did you have growing up? What kind of things did your parents say about money when you were between the ages of 0 to 7? Remember, most of our subconscious programming is done between the ages of 0 to 7. So what did you pick up? At that time, your conscious mind has not fully formed. Your subconscious mind is there and is absorbing everything like a sponge. So likelihood is, and this is the case with most people, that if you actually look at your current lifestyle, especially after 30s, up to 30s, you're a bit of a rebel. Your energy is able to be a bit more flexible. After about mid-30s onwards, you find when you actually look at your life and you actually look back at your parents' lifestyle, unless you've done some actual work on your mindset, your natural default programming takes over and your lifestyle is very similar to that of your parents. Okay, so many times you may be earning a couple of thousand, they used to be earning £200. But the actual lifestyle, the amount of money you have, liquid money, the kind of assets you have, the kind of lifestyle you're able to live is very similar to that of your parents or primary caregivers between the ages of 0 to 7. And that's your first indication.
Wow.
And so most people, when I go through the various questions, I ask them, okay, what about this? And how do you feel about that? And, where's the savings and how much? And I like to be very direct. I say, okay, write down how much savings you have and look at it and tell me, okay? And most people, when they write down the savings, and they've been working for, especially if they're talking to me, they've been working for at least 5, 10, 20, even 30, 40 years. And after 30 years of work, what do they have to show for it? Very little most of the time. Why is that? Is it because you're a poor money manager? No. Is it because you weren't intelligent? No. Is it because you're not capable? No. It's because you didn't allow yourself to keep the money that came to you, and you didn't allow yourself to have more than a certain amount. There's also thermostat. Your programming that's given to you between the ages of 0 to 7. But I like to call it your financial thermostat. You will have an upper and a lower one. Okay, so like my heating will go off as soon as the temperature drops. My boiler kicks in and the heating comes on. Same way, when you go above a certain point, your subconscious mind goes, this is danger. And guess what you'll do? Self-sabotage. Now, what does that mean? You procrastinate. You will attract opportunities, which makes you lose money rather than make money, or you'll attract people to you who makes you have. But it's cool. But it was an accident. Oh, it was just a pure. It just randomly happened. No, there's nothing random in life. If you are going above certain threshold and you're using your willpower to push past that upper limit of yours, then your subconscious mind will sometimes kick in and attract adversities or situations to bring you back. Ill health is one of the most common ones. You fall ill. Oh, I had a burnout. What the hell is a burnout? Right? You had a burnout. Why? Why did you stress so much? Do you ever have burnout? Guess what? That's if you're not going to stop, if I can't make you stop, Elliot, I'm going to make you fall ill. That's your subconscious mind thinking. And if Adrian's like, no, I've got the willpower, I can do this. I'm going to make 100 grand to this month. Next thing you know, you're in bed and you've got something wrong with the kidneys. And you're like, where did that come from? It just came out of the blue. No, it didn't. On the other hand, now the reverse is also true. If you start going below your bottom of your thermostat, like I said, my heating will kick in. Same thing for you. You automatically, when your count hits a certain amount, you go into fifth gear. Your subconscious mind goes into fifth gear. Then guess what? You're going to attract opportunities or random money from some God knows where to push you back up. And you're like, I don't know, miracle happened. And I just ended up, that guy came in and we in the deal and we made a couple of grand this month. I don't know where that happened, but it was just, like God heard my prayers. No, again, your subconscious mind go, we're going below our threshold. Let's kick in. So it's all to do with your subconscious mind, but you have to recognize it. Now that's talking psychologically. Energetically, the same thing. You are designed to be kept in this upper and lower limit. Energetically, you will attract opportunities when you're going below, or push opportunities or attract the wrong opportunities if you're going above. Does it make sense?
Yeah,
it does. It does make a lot of sense. In fact, my mum's said hello. Look.
Oh, hi, Elliot's mum. Hi, honey.
It absolutely does make a lot of sense. There's a few things in there that you've said that have definitely I've had points where
that's exactly what I want to ask you, Elliot. If you recognize in some of those things, I definitely recognize myself.
I will do. I mean, there's been points where I've been doing very, very well, and a few years ago, and I thought, right, I'm just going to invest a little bit haphazardly in this business, not this business, another business. And that was because I had fluidity with money at the time, and I definitely did not do my due diligence, and I got stung seriously. And so there's a number of things that you've mentioned there that I would think there's a lot of people are going to pull out at least one or two similar situations they've been through in life. I've heard about this sort of ceiling thing before. Is you get to a point where you can earn, and you sort of almost think that's where you have to then go above that, and so you've got like a ceiling.
They call it ceiling. I call it thermostat because I think there's an upper and lower limit.
Yes,
and this is why
I agree with you. Yeah.
So with the ceiling, they think, you can once you break in the glass ceiling, you can go through. Hell no. Right? It's a thermostat. You have to push it up and up and up and up, depending on where you want to go. So if you're used to earning 10,000 a month, that is your upper limit. If you then want to earn 100,000 a month, you have to up it. You have to work on yourself. Then if you want to change them to 7 figures, you want to be earning $1 million a month. Hell yeah. Can you imagine? There is no ceiling there. You have to push your thermostat up. So I don't like the word ceiling. I like the thermostat better because I think it reflects better in terms of how you turn out.
Yeah, I think I prefer that as well, to be honest, because ceiling is almost like you can't get through that, but a thermostat you can turn up. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Okay, all right. Okay, so I like that. I love what you said there, and I definitely think there's a few things. Adrian, does any of that resonate with you?
Yeah, with me, what resonated was the living your parents' lifestyle. That's what you said. My parents. They came from, they're very humble. They came from, backgrounds like they grew up poor, and my dad started to make money. But even when he had loads of money, he was very, very, I don't know, he was keeping those money so hard that he wouldn't spend things and all that. And at some point, those money were gone. You can just keep them like that, but every time he's looking always for the sales, always for that, and I also find myself doing this at some point. I think I have my threshold as well that needs to be up, and probably most people do that, to be honest. But that's where the place where I actually find myself most in what you have discussed. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to tell you why the money meant from your father, if you don't mind me repeating.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so I want you to think of it this way. I want you to understand money, and I think that's what we were discussing initially. Why money is energy. If I quickly go back to quantum physics and just talk and just take this over everything. It's going to. We can keep it very simple as possible for the audience to understand, but. Just to understand this point, everything is at the core energy. So if you think about it for myself, I'll give my example. Okay, so what am I? I am made of hair and skin and, and I've got skin cells and I've got flesh in there. Okay, so what are my skin cells made of? Well, they're made of molecules. What are molecules made of? Well, they're made of atoms. What are atoms made of? Well, they're made of electrons and, on the outside and internal with the nucleus with the protons and neutrons. And if you go to subatomic parts, you realize it's just It's just pure energy. If that's true for me, and that's true for everything, seen and unseen, that's also true for money, because everything in this universe and multiverse, and we want to call it, everything exists in terms of energy. It is. It's just energy that only transforms. It doesn't, you can't lose it, you can't gain it, you can only transform it. Okay, it only transmutes. It doesn't, you can't lose it.
Yeah, just different shapes, let's say, or things like that. But
exactly. So things you see, things you can't see, everything is just energy. So if you accept that as an initial thing, then money is energy. Okay. Now, this is where I came up with a concept of called money avatar. I want you to imagine this. I want you both of you to think of it this way. So imagine we guys go for a party, okay, and there's this beautiful, really gorgeous girl there, and she's stunning. She's drop dead gorgeous. I don't know, maybe Cindy Crawford, someone like that. Someone who's really, really gorgeous, and she walks in through the door, and both of you look at her and think, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, she's stunning. But below you both discuss and say, well, she must be really arrogant. She must be this. She must be a gold digger, blah, 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 blah. You're saying all this rubbish about her, right? Now, without even if you look at her and sort of smile, right? You're smiling at the moment, Elliot. So you imagine giving her the smile. If you are giving negative vibes to her under your breath, even if you don't discuss it, you're both thinking the same thing. Even if you don't say it to her, you're giving these negative vibes to her. Do you think she will look back and smile at you or even respond to you or talk to you? The answer is highly unlikely, right? Because subconsciously she'll pick up your negative vibes. Now, if she will do that, why will not money? Why will money be different? So I want people to stop having this need and greed for money. If you are so desperate for money and you're holding on to money like this, it's going to slip away. It really is. Two ways. It will either lose the money, or what you find is it depreciates over time. It really does, okay? Because inflation takes over and so forth. We all know this as investors, right? So if you treat money as your best friend, so this is where the money avatar came in. Yeah. If you imagine money as your best friend, so if you imagine, if you both do this exercise with me, so imagine, who would be your ideal best friend. Now, don't keep it as somebody you know. Don't keep it as a family member. Do not keep it as somebody a famous. I want you to just imagine who would be your ideal best friend. Think of the name, think of the gender, think of even the what kind of job would they do, what kind of personality would they have. Your ideal best friend. Okay. That is now your money avatar, because that's the person that you need to be friends with. Okay, your best friend is always going to have your back. It's going to be there, like, Ali, let's go for a beer. Or Adrian, let's go on a holiday. Let's do this, whatever. They're always with you. They're always with you to support you. You don't have to tell, I'm desperate, I need help. Your best friend will turn up before you know you need them, right? That's the kind of friendship you have. They're there to support you. Yet you do not control them. You do not beg them. You don't hold on to them. So if you turned up and said, "Oh, please, come with me," you're gonna feel like, dude, I need some space, right? Why would money be any different? On the other hand, if you respect and honor money as a friend and expect it to be there, because you know what, your best friend, dude, you're gonna be there to hold my back. I got your back. You got my back. Money will always show up before you need it, before you know you need it, and would always be there to support you and to honor you on the way. And same way, you don't disrespect your best friend, you don't dishonor your best friend, and you don't trap it in a room and lock in the cage and throw away the key. You expect money to come and go, the ebb and flow of money, which is the 100% truth. We know money comes and goes, right? The ebb and flow of money. You allow money to come and you freely receive it when it comes. You allow money to leave when he or she, depending on your best friend, when they want to leave. For example, my best friend is Michelle. Okay, Michelle comes into my life before I even know she needs it. She always turns up before I need it. And she comes and goes and when she needs it. So when she comes, I'm like, oh, Michelle, oh, so wonderful to see you. It's amazing to see you. I'm so happy to have it. I'm happy to have her in my account. When she goes, for example, she goes for for all the different, because I have team members now and I have people in Australia to everywhere else and all the different expenditure that needs to go out. I'm happy for her to go. Same way, when your best friend goes, you're going to see them again. They'll be back. Yet, at the same time, you are happy to let them go. You're happy to receive them. Can you see the mindset change from like, I need money to like, oh, dude, I'll see you soon. Yeah, I'm going to miss you, but I'll see you soon. Can you see the change? And it's so instant.
I mean, listen, you've got some bloody energy, Gull. I'll give you that. To be honest with you, I sort of get it. It clearly is a very much a mindset thing and believing that as well, to be honest. I'm a cynic though. I don't think that it's just mindset that's going to sort those things out, but I think you have to go out there and do that. So it's an element. It's all of it. You've got to believe and you got to have the right mindset, but you've also got to make shit happen as well, right?
I agree. I mean, not once have I said, you sit in a room and chant affirmations. I'm not like that. Hell no. Hell no, right? You take actions. However, what I don't want you to do is hustle. What I want you to do, so I love Gary, by the way, I think he's amazing. But the idea of hustle, that's so overrated. I really think that's overrated. I want you to take inspired action. I want you to take action, the 20% of action, which is going to give you 80% of the results. Let's do that. Yeah. Let's have that. Let's have the mindset. So first of all, in order for you to take the right action, you need to believe that you can make it happen. First of all, when you build this relationship with money, you know money's going to come. Okay, so I need to make money. It's not going to fall into my lap, is it? I can't exactly. If I'm meeting Michelle, I have to go to the cafe to meet Michelle, don't I? Metaphorically speaking. So I have to go out and do something in order to make money come into my world. Yet, why would I need to hustle? Why do I need to do 10 different things? I can take that one action, which will give me the 80% of the results that I need. And maybe the rest of the time I'm learning and growing and expanding my energy and in the same process. So none of the things we've said, nothing when you work on your mindset, doesn't mean that you're just working on your mind and you're not physically taking action. What we're trying to eliminate is, one, the disbelief or the anger and the frustration that you can't have money. Because there are a lot of people out there, Elliot, who take massive action but get zero results.
Yeah, of course.
And this is why I want you to take not massive action, but great action, good action, and an action which was going to give you the maximum result, which will, one, build your confidence that I can make this happen, I can grow, and secondly, allow physical money to turn up. We're not here talking metaphorically. We want money to be in your bank accounts. Why not? Like I said, the first way to understand if you have a good relationship with money is you have money black and white in your account. And this idea, well, it's okay, money will come. No, we want money black and white in their account. That's why if it's my best friend, it should be there when I need her, right? Not just metaphorically say on the phone, I'll see you soon, Gull. No, I want her to turn up to my house and say, look, Gull, here's a cup of tea, have a cup of tea, let's chat, what's up? You know?
Are you going to try this, Adrian? You're going to try all this?
Yeah. I need to find my own Michelle, though. But yeah, I'll definitely have to.
What's your best friend called?
I need to create it, mate. That's what she said. Yeah, we both need to create it. Now I think it's a bit deeper thought about that. You can't just do it right now.
It's something that when you first, by the way, so jokes apart, when you first meet your money avatar, it would be a slow process. It's like building a relationship. Sometimes when you actually go into deep meditation and you go and see this money avatar, they don't respond to you, they don't talk to you, and think, what the hell is this about? And especially you being a cynic, Elliot, you'll probably find this. Like, what is this dude? And you will have to build a relationship like you would any other guy. Like, you can't be a guy down the road and we're best friends now. Yeah. You're going to go for a beer, you're going to chill out and relax. And then over the beer, as you get to know each other, you become friends, not best friends, friends. Mm-hmm. It takes time to build a relationship. So why wouldn't this be any different?
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. I think that I think there's a few things that I'm definitely going to be trying out from this conversation for sure. To attract money. There's a power of a positive attraction as well, and that's of course a mindset thing. So I can see how all of this put into the right practice correctly works. Are you saying that meditation is a good way, a good transit to help you to get there as well, so that you can sort of set yourself up correctly?
Absolutely. So meditation, I think, is foundational. So you can't, when you're stuck in your beta brainwave, like at the moment we're in beta brainwave at the moment. It's very difficult to reprogram our subconscious mind or to have an energy shift. It really is not that possible, to be honest. When we're calm and we're listening, maybe it's kind of the energy that Adrian has at the moment. He's very calm and very, very relaxed about it. Maybe he's in low beta, but still he's not in the ideal frame of energy or brainwaves to be receptive to new energy or to changing subconscious programming. When you are in meditative state, you are in alpha brainwaves, which is the brainwave you have just before falling asleep or just after you wake up in the mornings. Right. That is a brainwave you need to be in to actually reprogram your mind psychologically, right? So this is why meditation is so important. And all the big, I don't know any entrepreneurs who are successful, who don't practice meditation, because it allows you to center yourself. It allows you to, shut off the negative or even positive, sometimes chitter chatter in that that goes in your brain, and it allows you to actually just calm yourself down, calm your energies down, and then actually think, okay, what am I focusing on? What do I really want to reprogram in mind? If you have a certain mindset around, for example, how you make money, the kind of hard work you do. So another block that I think Adrian asked me earlier, what kind of blocks people have. One of the blocks, which is very, very common, is you have to work hard for money. Now, if you notice my energy, I'm like, no, I don't work hard for money. Making money is easy. I may work a lot of hours because I love what I do. I do absolutely love what I do. You can imagine, I can talk for hours, right? I love what I do.
I do well.
But it's not hard work, right? So this idea that you have to work hard for money, you'll find if you enjoy something, if you're passionate about something, you'll have difficulty monetizing it. That's because, you need to work hard for money. So I couldn't possibly do this, enjoy it, and make money from it too. So you'll have problems there. So this is something that if you want to change the ideology that I have to work 80 hours a week to make 100 grand a month, if you want to be doing 20 hours a week and making 100K a month and to have the 7-figure years, then you will need to change your programming. Now, you can't do that in normal beta high or beta medium or beta, even low beta brainwaves. You have to get into alpha brainwaves. Now, the difficulty is people sometimes are either in low beta or they fall into deep sleep, which is delta. Either way, it doesn't work. You have to be in an alpha brainwaves, and that takes practice. And that's where, being conscious about it and being actually thought, and then not just having, this idea, people have this really weird idea that you have to quiet your mind when you're in meditation. Hell no. Your mind is never quiet. The idea is to allow thoughts to come and flow, and for you to not lose your center, be centered. And it's actually when you're getting those thoughts that are coming through your mind, that is when you're able to, as you practice, you're able to refocus those thoughts on changing your programming. And that is what actually reprograms your mind. And you actually have the energy shift and you're able to progress further.
Wow. There's some pretty powerful stuff in here. I mean, I think we need to be talking about the money side of things a lot more.
Yes, you do.
I do. I mean, there's not that many people that openly talk about the money side of things. I have to be honest with you. I mean, we've done, over the last 6-8 months between Adrian and I've done shows as well, 100 different shows, and not one. You're the first money mindset, somebody that talks so confidently about money and also the thought process and the mindset is definitely been an overused word this week, but definitely it is a mindset thing. You're absolutely right. I've had times where it is a massive struggle. You get to the end of that month and you've just about got the right amount of money, and that goes on for months, and then suddenly when you got you start relaxing, or you've got to a certain point, and then it starts rolling, but it doesn't seem to last. It doesn't seem to last. Yeah. You get to a point where you get to a level, and then to get the next stage up again, because you've got used to that level of money, is a massive step. It's a bigger step than ever. In fact, sometimes it then becomes a step down.
You pulled back, of course. Yeah, that's you.
You talked about this early on. Yeah. You talked about this early on. And I've been through that myself, and in fact, there's a lot of people going to be going through that right now, particularly over the last 6 months and what's happened in the world. There will have been people that are so used to money coming in. And I would guarantee you there are a lot of who would call themselves entrepreneurs, but are probably CEOs of large corporate companies that have been so used to money coming in, and suddenly their company is struggling. And they're seeing the smaller entrepreneur, the guy that lives down the road that is, has got the smaller, he's the one who's going to have the bigger house, and his house is going to go down because his mindset is going to be a lot more difficult to change because he's been so used to that. I know you were in banking, right? You're in banking once? I mean, there's always money in that industry, but
there's always money. There's always money. Yeah.
So that's not necessarily the best one as an example, but there are definitely going to be a lot of corporate companies that have been hit really hard. A restaurant firm, big corporate restaurant companies that are
airlines companies, stuff like that. Yeah.
So I've got a response to that. So this is again, all my clients, okay.
I would have thought you had a response to that, to be fair. I mean, come on.
So my clients, I have clients who are in the airline industry, who are in the tourism industry, and I've got clients. So I have clients all over the world, and I've got them in Philippines, and I'll use Philippines as an example because Philippines is so-called a developing country, and the average wage is, I think, $200 a month. Now, they're in my mastermind. My mastermind is high end. We're talking about $8-9 a month annually. So they're able to, they're pretty much paying for that. So they're entrepreneurs. Obviously, they're able to afford it. Yet they're able. So when this pandemic happened, they were impacted too. Now, there's two different examples. So there's one person here, she's got a franchise in a tourism franchise. And when she reached out to me, she said, "Go, I don't know what to do," and so forth, etc. So look, I said to her, what I would say to anybody, doesn't matter regardless of what external circumstances there are, I said, your source does not change. The source of money is going to be divine energy. And whatever name you give to that is your choice. Mine is, I call it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but yours could be Jesus, could be Buddha, it could be secular, it could be universe for all I care. But your source of supply is always going to be divine source energy. Yet your channel could be your business, could be tourism, could be something else. But the actual source is not going to change. So you need to work out, okay, are you going to rely on that source, or are you going to rely on divine source energy to provide you a different channel? And I sent her away and I told her to do, obviously various exercises and said, I want you to focus on the money that you want to make rather than actually where the money is coming from. And I kid you not, we did this, manifestation call, which you do in the mastermind together. And I think we did this on Thursday. On Monday, her head company, the company she bought the franchise from, had negotiated a contract with NHS. So for the next 3 months, they were going to retrain them up, and they were going to receive a certain amount of income, which was not the same. But I think 80% of the income that she would have got from her business, she was going to get from this new contract that they had negotiated with the NHS. Right? Okay. Purely, okay? Now you can say, oh, that's a pure chance, that's a miracle, whatever you want to call it. I call it, it's just you relying on divine energy and allowing the divine energy to open up another channel, okay? That's one example. The second one, I'll give you another one. So this other client of mine, and they've got two in the Philippines. One, she had, I think she had a tourism business as well. When the pandemic happened, obviously everything closed up. And instead of sitting there and panicking and thinking X, Y, and Z, again, she's with me and we had this discussion openly in the mastermind. I sent her off again and said, look, what other things can you do? Within days, she set up another shop, another brand, something else. And I think her husband went on to do selling cars, and they would set something else up. The money stopped from the tourism, but carried on coming to them through a different channel. Right. And a third example, which is phenomenal, she basically, Skita, she was an amazing example. So she came to work with me in November. And when she came to work with me, she had been working with her husband's business until that time, but her husband was giving her an allowance of $2,000. Mm-hmm. She started working with me, I think within 2 months. She had her own business and she was able to making 5 figures from her own company, her own business by then. But when this pandemic happened, now this is when the miracle happened. When the pandemic happened, just at the same time, she saw an opportunity because her business was dying down because of the coronavirus. It was hit worldwide. Yeah. She saw an opportunity in food industry. She set one up. And I tell you, I kid you not, when she set it up at the beginning when the pandemic started happening in her country, mm-hmm. within 2-3 weeks, she was full on and she was selling that stuff. And then I think right in the middle of it, she was making $2,000 a day. Day. Wow. Okay. Now, these people are in the Philippines or UK. It doesn't really matter. I've given you 2 examples, the UK and the Philippines, right? And I've got clients in Dubai. I've got clients worldwide. And I'll tell you, every single person, the ones who haven't made it, okay, there have been a couple of clients of mine. Oh, God, there's no money. There's no money. If you sit there and tell me there's no money, there's no money. That's the truth. That's your truth, and that becomes the truth. But if you listen to me and say, okay, well, my money is coming from divine energy. It's not coming from there. What other opportunities are open to me? And allow divine energy to open channels for you. Be open to it. If you're closed up, you're not going to happen. If you're open to it, other channels will open, other opportunities will open, and money will come to you.
What are you calling it? Device energy.
Divine source energy. So I like to I like to use because I have people from all faiths. I just use the secular term divine source energy. You can call it universe. You can call it Jesus. You can call it Buddha. You can call it Ram. Yeah. I like to call it divine source energy. I think I prefer a
divine source of energy as well. That would suit me, to be fair.
Yeah, they don't need to put in tags on that. I like to call it divine source energy because then everyone resonates and everyone understands it. Whatever name tag they want to give it, that's the personal choice.
I love it. It makes you look at it from a different perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, your the amount of money, the kind of abundance you have. If you look around yourself, if you look at nature itself. Can you see nature is always abundant? You find any pot of land, any tiny bit of land, and nature just goes bloop, it bursts. Weeds, grass, anything, daffodils, you see everything comes out, right? Nature is not, it doesn't know scarcity at all. It would grow wherever it can. Any bit of land, any wall, anything, any patch, it just grows and sprouts, and animals too. So if nature doesn't know scarcity, why do we believe that there's scarcity in nature? Think about something like oxygen. There's more than enough supply for it. Water's in abundant supply. We don't even know what we're walking on. We could walk, even in the UK right now, you and I could be walking on our land and in 50 years' time work out there's gold underneath it or there's oil underneath it. I mean, that's what happened in the Middle East, right? So we don't even know what we're walking on. Nature is not scarce. Nature is full of abundance, but you have to recognize that abundance yourself in order for you to receive that abundance.
Wow. Well, I'm going to be watching this one back. I have to be honest with you, because there's loads of things in here. There's loads of things that actually, and I hate the reusing this word because it's so overused, but resonates with me. There's quite a few, but there's also a lot in there that I definitely need to take a lot of notice of right now in what's going on. Adrian knows what I'm talking about, and it's definitely, I think it's definitely going to help for sure. In fact, I want to be promoting this show, this one that we're doing today.
Thank you.
Well, there's segments of this that I think are going to be very, very useful for virtually anybody, not just in business, but just in life as well.
Yes. I mean, I choose to work with entrepreneurs because I think they're the most open and receptive to changing because they want to grow.
Yeah, of course.
But these principles are universal principles, and they work for anyone across all platforms, all life forms, or wherever life direction they have. And also keep in mind, I work with people who want to become millionaires, and I chose to become a millionaire at the age before I was 30.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It's up to you how much money you want to allow into your life and what kind of money is comfortable for you. Somebody living in 2-bedroom home is comfortable. Somebody living in a condo they think they're millionaires. So it's up to you how much money you want. But the idea is, why restrict it? Why not allow yourself to be financially comfortable? And only once you're financially comfortable, be it in a job or a work or a business, can you really allow other gifts of yours to open up. Because I'll tell you, when you have the stress of paying that rent, paying that mortgage, paying that goddamn bill that's coming on Monday, you are not fully opened and aligned to other possibilities or opening up your gifts or talents or whatever you have. Only when you are free from those financial worries can you fully flourish and live. That's my belief.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think you're going to be locked in that survival mode for way too long, and just focus on those things without seeing the big picture of what's happening around you. Yeah. And I even thought about so many things, you're talking about now. It still goes back to parents and all that. So with me, for example, every time when I had a goal, especially money goal or stuff like that, or when I didn't want to spend some of the money because it was for something, my parents always said, "Oh, you're so driven by the money." It just, so it was like a limiting belief then, because you said,
it is.
"Oh, fuck, yeah, maybe I am. Maybe I shouldn't be like that." But no, rather than I should have just stick to that goal and do my own thing, rather than thinking like that. So it completely makes sense what you're saying. And like I said, I think loads of people are going to recognize themselves in different positions in their life,
Yeah. That definitely is a limiting belief again, by the way, and that would hold you back more than you know, because guess what this is tribal now. So if your family does not have a certain amount of money, or if you want money and for example, you want to be a millionaire and they don't think that people like us don't become millionaires, people like us don't have that kind of money, then what that will do is subconsciously you will self-sabotage every time you're close to the goal, or you're going to have a breakthrough. And the reason why it goes back to tribal times. Remember when we were cave people, we're living in tribes together. When people throw you out the tribe, that's life-threatening, because guess what? That's when the bear or the lion's going to come and eat you up. So the threat of being extracted from the tribe was more fearful than death itself, because we are going to die. That still stays with us. We fear that if we go outside what our family allows us, so if we go outside our tribe, we're going to be, we're going to be rejected. We're going to be moved from the tribe. And this is subconscious, by the way. So guess what your subconscious does? It kicks into fifth gear, like, oh no, let's not do this. This is fearful. This is going to, cause torture. This is going to cause death. Let's bring you back in so that we are in the tribe and remain comfortable with everybody else. See how powerful that is?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Elliot, I know we're late, sorry, but I want to ask one more question. So, and that's a situation I've seen quite a few times. I have been in that situation as well. So why sometimes you set a goal, you achieve that goal, you enjoy it for a bit, and you get lazy, or you don't want to go further anymore. But usually, actually, when you achieve that goal, it's just because you've worked really hard, or let's say you've done something and you went into more extreme survival mode. You have achieved the goal, and then you stop. Why is that happening?
You mean you get complacent? You mean?
Sorry?
Do you mean you get complacent?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you do it again 6 months after, or something like that, probably.
Well, there's a couple of things to that. Well, one thing is, if you, for example, if it's a financial goal, so if you were aimed to make, I need to make from this particular project, I want to make 100 grand, for example, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if 100 grand is the upper limit, if that's all you're going to have, so what your subconscious mind can sometimes do is, okay, allow you to make the 100 grand, but then you're not going to make anything for the next 6 months. And then guess what? Overall, average out to guess what your normal income is. Does that make sense? You'll do that. Okay, that's one reason. Second one could be the fact that your subconscious mind again, it thinks, oh, okay, I've done this. Oh, no, it's not what they say. Okay, I better not go do anything extraordinary. I better not do anything extra, because guess what? There's a fear of rejection still. So I've done this. Let's see how other people respond back to me. If they're okay with it, I'll carry on and try again. And that, okay, just checking to see if other people are okay with you achieving that for the time being, and you being acceptable, people still accepting you, the time passes. And this is real when you think you're procrastinating, you think you're just sitting around, you think you've become complacent. There's no such thing as procrastination. Procrastination is actually your subconscious mind saying, Am I afraid? What's happening? Your subconscious mind goes into protective mode. And because you are being pushed and pulled at the same time, you're not moving anywhere. That's when you think you're procrastinating. You're sitting there thinking, why am I just sitting here doing nothing? You're not. Your subconscious mind has a war inside going, let's go this way. No, let's go that way. And you're stuck in the middle, and then you end up doing nothing. That's what happens.
That's a very interesting way of looking.
On a slightly different side, I suppose this could also be the same thing in a way. What happens if you have such massive goals, and there's going to be entrepreneurs out there that have huge goals, and you literally believe that you're going to have untold wealth, and you literally believe in it, and there's no,
and you visualize it as well.
That's me.
Yeah. Okay. So I've done that, and then things came crashing down. How do you control that? Because if I go 10 years ago, there was a point where we had a construction company, and things were, should have been actually a little more than 10 years ago. In fact, it was just before the crash happened. Now, you can't do anything about that, can you? The construction company was there. We were getting onto the second building. My goals were getting bigger, and I could start mapping out, seeing exactly where we were going to go with it, what I would need to buy, we were going to need to do to create this huge company. And there was no reason. There's nothing that could stop it, really, apart from
the crash.
See what happened. Yeah. You can't account for things like that, can you? For sure.
Okay, so this is where I'm saying that you are living from the outside in. If you live from the outside in, then every financial downturn, every recession, everything that goes wrong with the economy is going to have an impact on you. If you live from the inside out, then of course, like the pandemic, I can't help, but there's global energy, the pandemic's going on. I can only control my reaction to it. So now I don't know the ins and outs of the company of yours at the time. But okay, so fine, that company didn't work. What if you look back, what could you have done? What could you have mitigated if you had the idea that the reception's happening, this is the reception's happening, or this is gonna go, okay, so okay, fair enough. Maybe I have to change the company. Maybe I have to jump ship. You may have to. For example, at the moment, if somebody has who's doing airlines, you cannot say, well, money, I'm definitely going to make money through my airline business. You're not going to. That channel is closed. That ship sailed, dude. So if that was happening, I remember because I went through that. My property crashed, and I ended up losing quite a lot of money in that era, 2008, 2008.
Yeah, when the market crashed.
Yeah. Yet, if you look back now, I'm pretty sure you could have done things. You could have mitigated it. You could have changed it around. You could have gone a different direction. And most importantly, if you have the idea, nothing outside of you is going to impact you. You're making money from a particular way. So this is something I teach quite openly. When I ask you to work, I don't want, I want you to take action. if you become dependent on one particular channel, this is my only source of income. If forbid something like this, that crash happens, then that is for you to, that's when the true entrepreneur comes out and says, okay, you know what, we're in this. Do we jump ship, or do we, build the sales up again, of what can we do with it? Or do we do something into it? Because remember, the market picked up. So the crash was for 2-3 years.
Yeah.
It could have been that you had to let it go, bite the bullet for the 2-3 years, do something else in the interval and come back to it. Now,
unfortunately, if you have a partner that isn't on the same wavelength as you, that becomes virtually impossible.
I agree. So if you are working with people who are not aligned with you, it could be. So that could be another reason. So the universe, I want you to understand, the universe is always there. The universe always has your back. It's always supporting you. And sometimes you have these goals. You want to be, you want to be making 7 figures a month, let alone a year. And your partner's energy is not expanded to that. The universe will actually make you go through certain circumstances where you feel like I'm being pulled back, right? It's like almost like an arrow being pulled back, because you have to let go of that partner. Now, this is true whether you accept it or not. Not everyone's energy is lined up with you when you are building a business, be it marriage, be it business partner. You have to be very careful either of those partners.
Yeah, sure.
And if it could be the universe telling you this partner isn't working for you, it's not going to get you to your goals. You may hit 7 figures annually. You may be hitting, may become a millionaire annually. But if you want to become a millionaire monthly, or a multi-millionaire on a monthly basis, or you want to be hitting the billionaire mark, then this partner isn't lined up to you. It would not support you in your journey. So this is a message from the universe. So you have to be receptive to the information given. And just because you have big goals, you're not going to write them tomorrow. So it may be the fact that, for example, you want to be a billionaire. Let's just use that example. Forget millionaires, because you get a dime a dozen of those now. Let's go for, if you want to be a billionaire, so you need to make 100 million, right? So, okay, so in order for you to do that in the next 5 to 10 years, what do you want to do? So I wanted this business. Okay, so for example, I don't know how I'm going to get to the billionaire mark. I don't. And I'm not even looking down. I'm okay. When I'm looking down a road, it's almost like going down a road, and in the dark, and you can't see further than 10 yards ahead of you, because the lights only shine the 10 yards. But I know when I've crossed that 10 yards, the next 10 yards will show up, and it will continue to do so. That's where faith comes in, that I'll know what to do after that. Once I've crossed this part, when I've got this pair, I have. And it may be there's a turn coming at the road, which I can't see yet, but I will later on. And I may instead of going from here to Manchester, I may end up going towards Nottingham, or maybe even goes towards Wales, because my actual true destination is in Wales. It's not in Manchester. But then I won't know that until I've crossed it. And it may be that I'm traveling with, I don't know, my partner, who is not the right person, who doesn't want to go to Wales. He or she does want to go to Manchester. So we may part terms. I mean, I'm using metaphors to explain this. I hope this makes sense, right?
It makes very good sense, yeah.
So you want to be going in a direction towards your goal. So if your goal is to be a billionaire by the time you're 50, okay, that's my goal. If you want to be a billionaire by the time you're 50, you don't have to know how you're going to get there. You just need to know, okay, I'm starting off with this business at the moment. I'm open to the idea of other opportunities coming to me. And when you are open, people, circumstances, opportunities come towards you. And when you're open, you recognize it, then you can monetize these opportunities. For example, you're in podcasting at the moment. Maybe a Forex trader comes in, or I don't know, a property investor comes in, or someone else comes in. You're able to monetize those opportunities when they arrive, because that's the curve in the road. When you're going to end up towards Wales, you would think you were going to Manchester, you end up in Wales. But then that's the thing. Your goal is to become a billionaire, whether it's in Manchester or Wales. What difference does it make, right? Yeah. And this is the mentality you need to have. This is the mindset you need to have. If you are dependent on, oh no, the world's going to shambles, we're going in a recession. Who cares? Who cares? I mean, do you think Richard Branson cares?
Yeah, I mean, I don't consider any of this that's going on right now as a negative. I mean, I see a lot of positive in it, to be honest. But
there is, but only for those who recognize it.
There's still a struggle. I mean, you're still pushing forward and things. But yeah, I completely get what you're saying, and I'm definitely going to be taking on some of these bits and pieces. I do a lot of what you've said already naturally. Hence why I'm not living on the street after that happening 10 years ago. I mean, there's been a roller coaster in the last 10 years, and I'm sure there's going to be another roller coaster in the next 10. To be fair, I think I must thrive on roller coaster business. To be fair,
I'm going to stop you there for a second, Elliot. If you're expecting you to have roller coaster, if you're expecting you to have ups and downs,
there are ups and downs in business. It's not just an up, is it?
No, there isn't. But you can have it with ease and grace. That's the energy I'm going to put there. I'm going to put it to you. Why don't you expect things to be easy? You expect things to be very difficult. Why? Why not allow things to be easy for you?
Because they've been like that in the past.
They are. They're always,
but why should your past? Why should you? So this is where I'm
no,
coming in now.
Why
should your past dictate your future? That's I'm going to be play the devil's advocate and say, if you, I understand. Jokes apart, I understand businesses have ups and downs, all do. But if you have the energy of, well, I'm definitely going to have downs. You'll have worse downs. If you have the energy, it doesn't matter what comes up. We'll deal with it with ease and grace. Okay, then even if there is a hiccup or something goes wrong, a solution will come and it'll be a lot faster and a lot easier. So you don't have the headache. You can still do it with ease and grace. That's the thing. And that's the energy I want you to embrace. Ease and grace in whatever you do.
And that is exactly what we're going to take away from this evening for sure. Ease and grace. Let's embrace that.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, listen, Gull, I've really enjoyed this evening. You've worn me out though. No,
I can carry on talking. You know that.
I know you could. And listen, I genuinely would love to get you back and go and maybe pick up a couple of the subjects, because we've covered a lot of stuff. Maybe pick up at a couple of those subjects and get you back on another show, because I think this is a great subject. I think it's a massive point. It's a huge struggle for people that are wealthy, people that aren't, and however you class yourself as wealth, where people may look from the outside and think you're wealthy, but you may be struggling. You may be like a duck on water, where you seem to be gliding and your legs are going like fuck underneath the water. And that happens to a lot of people, including myself. And so there's a lot to be learned from the money side. And I think every entrepreneur, every person that wants to achieve something in life needs to have money. If anybody says that money is not the be all and end all, it probably is, to be fair. Without it, we don't have the health. We can't look after our health so well. We can't eat as well. And we don't have the lifestyle that we would really, really want. And even my mum has said it all made sense. And now for my mum to say that, and she's still with us, that's good going. So congratulations, Gull. It's been an incredible hour chatting to you. What do you reckon, Adrian?
Well, definitely, you definitely exceeded my expectations. To be honest, I didn't know what to expect. When you said that, and when I looked, because I always read, what people say on the Elliot bot, before, and I looked through the paperwork over there, and you said quantum physics, money mindset, Joe Dispenza, all that. I said, there's going to be again loads of things in there, too much talk that is not going to make sense, but it all makes sense. The examples that you give there, like I said, real life example. That's what I'm always looking for, because people can identify with that, and they can recognize it very easily. So it's been a great show for me, and I would definitely love to have you back. I
would love to come back, and it's been so much pleasure talking to both of you, Adrian and Elliot. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you very much. So where can everybody find you, Gull? Because
exactly,
I think people do need to find you, and I'm going to be knocking on your door. I tell you.
Oh, you're most welcome. We need to go for a drink. I don't drink alcohol, so we need to go for a cup of tea.
Well, neither do I these days, to be fair.
But for everybody who's actually listening, who wants to hear more from me, I have my own podcast. It's called Money Mindset with Gul Khan, and I have a blog too, which is gulkhan.com. So come and find me there. And if you want to find me on any of the social media, LinkedIn or Instagram or in Facebook, it's Money Mindset with Gul Khan. So that's my handle.
Perfect. Great stuff. Well, thank you very, very much. And yes, we will absolutely have to hook up for sure. As we said about before we started recording, but I think, there's a lot we can possibly do together. But I definitely want to be chatting to you after the show. Thanks very much, Gull. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Adrian, joining us from, it's nearly whatever time it is over there.
Midnight, but that's all right. Don't worry.
Midnight.
Yeah. Thank you, Gull, and thank you, Elliot, as well. Yeah, it's been a real pleasure, and it's been great tonight. Yeah.
Well, listen, if you've been listening to this, then you'll be listening to this in probably late August as an audio podcast. But if you've been watching this on Facebook or on YouTube, this will be coming out as an audio podcast if you want to catch this again. And you can find everything that we're doing on Essex Business Radio and all about our shows across virtually all social media platforms, except TikTok, except Pinterest. But apart from that, all of them, and it's Essex Business Radio, apart from Twitter, which is Essex Biz, BIZZ Radio. If you want to find out more about Gull, we'll make sure there's a link near the YouTube video, and then when the podcast goes up, there'll be links in that as well, and some bits and pieces to get hold of Gull. And I definitely recommend you get in contact and check out what Gull is doing. And in fact, a mastermind sounds like it could be the thing for you if you want to absolutely be smashing it in 2020 and 2021. So thanks very much for joining us, everybody, for listening and watching and all of that. It's been incredible. I've loved this show. You've been watching or listening to the Pivotal Podspective with myself and Adrian Dorobantu and Gull Khan. So I'm going to sign off for now, and I'm going to say ciao for now.
Brown cow.
Bye for now.